I still believe that it would be hard to be on a tour bus with Sebastian Bach. If Skid Row were blameless, wouldn't you think they'd be able to hold on to a fucking singer? I just wonder if Sebastian fucking with Bon Jovi made Bon Jovi go, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with you. For everyone who blames Sebastian, and I've usually been one of them, maybe there's another angle here.
Look, I came here to do two things: chew bubblegum and talk hair metal, and it looks like I'm almost out of bubblegum.
Welcome to the Hair Metal Guru. My name is Anthony. They call me the Guru. And I tell you what, this isn't going to be a normal episode because I haven't sat and written any notes. But I've just been thinking about the Sebastian Bach and Skid Row situation. Oh, by the way, I'm checking out a new microphone, so we'll see if this helps me sound less like shit than it does if I just use my computer. And Charlie's here. She keeps hitting my hand because she loves being on YouTube. Anyway, you might also see that my cat, I have a cat for some reason now because I can't let animals just be lost. So there was a lost cat outside of where I work, a kitten, no name tag or anything. So I took it home thinking I would take it to the pound. Well, fuck, now it just lives here. So cat's name is Step. And my air conditioner doesn't work, so I'm wearing a tank top and I have a fan on. Anyway, the Skid Row situation. I'll be honest. I've always been on the side that blamed Sebastian Bach. Why? Well, shit. You can look back at the history of Skid Row and look at the bad shit that happened to that band. And a lot of it is due to Sebastian and his antics and the way he would treat people. You have the instance in 1989 in Missouri where, yes, somebody throws a bottle and hits him in the head, but then what does he do? He grabs the bottle, throws it into the crowd, breaks up a girl's face, a girl that did not throw the bottle at him. Girl is in the hospital. He gets arrested. He makes the band look like shit. He wears a shirt that says AIDS kills, Bags dead. That is hugely controversial. I mean, it's the kind of shit that you just can't do. The band has to explain themselves. Makes the band look like shit. Okay? The controversy, and I think this gets underrated in the grand scheme of what went wrong with Skid Row, is him bashing the shit out of John Bon Jovi after Bon Jovi takes Skid Row on tour. There's a big dust up at the end of the tour. Bon Jovi comes out during Skid Row's set. Sebastian talks shit about the band. John and Sebastian almost get into a fight. Well, sometimes I think Skid Row puts out Slave to the Grind, which debuts at #1. And it's hard to argue that in the time after the debut came out, Skid Row was one of the biggest bands in the world. The debut sells 5 million copies. Skid Row are on the cover of every fucking magazine. But if there is one person that you do not fuck with in the music industry at that point, is John Bon Jovi. Doc McGee was Bon Jovi's manager, one of the biggest hitters, one of the heavy hitters in the rock industry. Later went on to manage Kiss. So Sebastian says a bunch of shitty stuff about Bon Jovi, rags on John Bon Jovi. He's like, oh, are these guys in the mafia? There was a huge article in Kerrang magazine about this. So is it possible, and this is just a theory, a conspiracy theory from the Guru, that John Bon Jovi was like, look, you guys promote Skid Row, you guys promote this album, and you can say goodbye to being able to interview me. You can say goodbye to Bon Jovi being on your side. because there is no doubt that Bon Jovi was much bigger than Skid Row. So, Skid Row, Slave to the Grind, debuts at #1, but none of the Slave to the Grind songs were hits. MTV gave them very little airplay. Radio gave them very little airplay. So even though debuts at #1, it only went double platinum. And then after that, Subhuman Race didn't do shit. So I just wonder if Sebastian fucking with Bon Jovi made Bon Jovi go, you know what? I'm gonna fuck with you. So I'm just making the point that in the grand scheme of things, I've always said that the bad shit that went wrong with Skid Row, in my opinion, was Sebastian's fault. However, in recent times, you have to wonder because, okay, now let's get away from the Sebastian part. Skid Row, since Sebastian, has been going through vocalists like like Madonna goes through Teenage Boyfriends, like Roseanne Barr goes through Dirty Panties. I don't know, I'm just talking out of my ass. But they have they've gone through Johnny Solinger was actually in the band for quite a while. They put out the album Thick Skin, which in my opinion was dramatically underrated. Put that out in 2003. It didn't sell well, but nothing Skid Row did in 2003 was going to sell. Okay, they put out Revolutions Per Minute in 2006, which I'll be honest, was a shit show. It's a horrible album. There are maybe 2 or 3 songs that I liked, and they were a country song, a punk rock song, and then they redid I Remember You Too in a punk rock manner. I actually thought it was pretty good. The rest of that album sucked. Then they put out 2 EPs, United World Rebellion in 2013, and then the second part of United World Rebellion, it was called Rise of the Damnation Army in 2014. Okay, they get Tony Harnell in for a cup of coffee. I think they redid 18 in Life just with him on vocals, put that out. He was in the band for less than a year. They get and Tony Harnell formerly of fucking TNT. They get this guy ZP Thart. Is that how you pronounce it? From Dragon Force. He's with the band for a while. They get Eric Cronwall, who I thought was probably the perfect fit, at least vocally. He could handle the early Skid Row shit vocally. They put out a decent album with him called The Gang's All Here in 2022, but he bails. And they said it was due to health problems, and I know he had some health problems, so maybe that's true. But he had health problems before he joined fucking Skid Row. So here's this. Now I'll get to the point of the video. Is Skid Row are not without blame. You know, yeah, Sebastian had his fucking issues. But if Skid Row were the situation, you know, if Skid Row were blameless, wouldn't you think they'd be able to hold on to a fucking singer for a period of time? But no, they don't. You know, they haven't released shit for albums. They keep going through singers. Now they had Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm, and I know she was never looked at as the replacement for Sebastian Bach. But now what are they gonna do? They're gonna get some other guy and who will probably be in the band for a few months, and then they'll trade him out because are they paying these guys like shit? You know, I'm sure the Monsters share of what they get from being on the road is going to Snake, Rachel, and Scotty. And these singers are probably like, yeah, it's a great opportunity to sing for this national band that has had platinum albums and #1 albums. But after a while, you're probably going, look, they aren't paying me shit. You know, I'm just guessing. So I could be wrong, but you gotta think that one of the reasons that they're going through singers like crazy is that they are probably not getting paid or making the money that they thought they were going to be making. So it's either a financial situation, I'm not getting paid shit, or the guys in Skid Row are not the guys that we're all led to believe they are. And I'll be, Snake seems like a nice guy. He probably is. Rachel seems like Scotty seems like a good dude. But for some reason they cannot keep a singer. Now, so I'll close with this. This is kind of a short video for me. So hey, maybe I should do more short shit. Anyway, I still believe that it would be hard to be on a tour bus with Sebastian Bach. Okay. I was in the military for 22 years. I was in Iraq in 2003 and 4 for 12 months. I know what it's like to live in a closed quarters with guys that you just get sick of. Okay. I lived in a small tent. Luckily, I was with two guys that I really got along with, but I lived on a small base with the same people for a year. And there were people that you're like, holy fuck, I can't wait to get away from these people. Most of the soldiers I served with were awesome. But there are guys like Sebastian Bach who never shut the fuck up. And I couldn't wait to get away from those guys. So looking at the history, I still tend to believe that Sebastian was a huge part of the problem. I just want to acknowledge that Skid Row are probably not blameless in this situation. They can't keep a singer, keep going through. So for whatever reason, whether it's the financial, whether it's just the guys in Skid Row and how they treat people, I don't know. But Skid Row are not blameless. So for everyone who blames Sebastian, and I've usually been one of them, maybe there's another angle here. So I would love to hear, man, it would be great to hear from ZP, from Eric Gronwall, and unfortunately, Johnny Solinger is dead, and I think that had a lot to do with his lifestyle. But Tony Harnell, and maybe I'm sure they signed NDAs, non-disclosure agreements that said they could not talk about why they left Skid Row. So hey, now let's hear it from you guys. Is it Sebastian? It's pretty easy to look at Sebastian and say he's part of the problem. Do you take Sebastian's side? Because he has said, man, he is willing to get back in a room and talk about a reunion. So maybe it's the guys from Skid Row. For whatever reason, Sebastian is still putting out albums. And so, hey, he's put out Bring 'Em Back Alive in 1999, a live album. Some studio songs, not that great. Angel Down, I thought was really good. I thought Kicking and Screaming from 2011 and Give 'Em Hell from 2014, I thought they were disappointments. Not great. But I will say that his 2024 album, Child Within the Man, is super solid. I think it's Sebastian's best solo album. So if they were to get back together, this is the end, man. And I don't think it'll happen. Skid Row has said it will not happen. I know Sebastian wants it to happen, but again, he opens up his fucking mouth and puts his foot in it and probably ruins any chance of them getting back together. He made some comments, and I'm sure it's over. But if it's gonna happen, it's now or never. It's probably never. So tell me what you think. Tell me whose side are you on? Hey, it's only YouTube. You can say whatever you want. Are you on Skid Row's side? Are you on Sebastian's side? Tell me if you think I'm fucked up in my claims about, hey, where Skid Row might be going wrong, in my claims about where Sebastian has gone wrong in the past. Tell me, what do you think Skid Row needs to do going forward? Do they need to get a semi big name, somebody from the 80s, or are they better off just getting some new kid that they can boss around and will just be happy to be in the band Skid Row? Hey, if you like this kind of stuff, would love it if you like, subscribe, comments, all that shit. Hey, whatever you can do to help the channel. I just appreciate you being here. Until the next video comes out, my name is Anthony. They call me the Guru. Take care.